Are you getting frequent unsolicited phone calls persuading you to invest in property? Don't you get irritated with pesky invasive cold calls that violate your privacy, often when you are in between some serious work? Do you wonder from where all these property brokers get your personal phone number? Don't just ignore this as a case of spam calls. The harsh reality is that your personal data has been leaked. Even harsher reality is that the existing laws are of not much help against violating your privacy. Hello, I am Ravi Sinha and I am taking up this issue of data breach in real estate. Across the matured property markets of the world, an impression has gained ground that the industry is vulnerable to data breaches. The cyber attacks are also rampant. For example, in 2018, it hit the headlines in the US that the company that manages the Brooklyn condominiums, where a renowned cybersecurity expert himself was living, was hacked. The hacker locked down the property manager's IT system and demanded the company to pay a ransom to get back in. This is not a one-off incident as far as the case of data breach in the real estate industry is concerned. Cybersecurity experts are also appalled with the fact that people don't pay attention to it as much as they should, and more often than not, they just shrug it off. In India, probably it does not need a dark web world or a cybersecurity expert to breach the privacy of the real estate data from the standpoint of demand. The sales reps of the developers and their hand-in-glove brokers are quite capable to do that at the cost of privacy and reputation of the home buyers. The buyer's data is shared as conveniently as sharing a cup of coffee for having a taste of caffeine together. As soon as you buy an apartment, you are flooded with phone calls asking whether you would like to resell it for a marginally higher price or rent it out. Even if you refuse instantly, it does not end the irritating calls. It only changes the caller's numbers. On being asked as to from where did they get your number, the caller would casually say it is in their data bank. But hold on. This data bank is a result of the builders or his sales reps sharing your details for a price. With so many anonymous calls, even if you registered your objection with the developer's team, you would be categorically told that the developer sales team has already sold the apartment and now all the responsibility to deal with such phone calls lies with the buyer. I recall while sitting with a mid-sized developer of Delhi NCR where the broker was advising him not to advertise the newly launched project and instead pay him a little more as commission. In lieu of that, the broker offered him to provide the data of all the sales inquiry from a leading developer that had only last week advertised with a leading English national daily. On further investigation into this curious case of data theft, I call it data theft and not data breach, I found out that the person receiving inquiry calls of prospective home buyers at this large developer's office is hand in glove with a few brokers, and hence data of prospective home buyers are exchanged for a price. And it is not just the developer's team that is perpetrator of data theft. Even the apartment management third-party apps are equally guilty of sharing not just the apartment owner's details but his entire family details for the marketeers to pounce upon them. A data breach in real estate is not the end of malicious activity, it's rather the beginning. Annoying phone calls and pesky brokers waste the precious time of the home buyers, often when they are in between serious official work. Furthermore, the information of the home buyers are also used to gain access to their acquaintances, and they are further maneuvered with references to trick them to buy the property. I have myself been victim of such data breach and invasion of privacy by one of the large-scale plotted developers in Mumbai region, known for having a spat between two brothers. Just one expression of interest on a social media site, just for an info, and after my refusal to go ahead with any deal, I am continuously hounded by brokers. Even if I don't take the call and keep blocking numbers, I am repeatedly being called by a new number. Interestingly, every weekend they claim it's rather a threat of FOMO, fear of missing out, that either I have to attend their live presentation now or project would be sold. I keep getting such calls every next weekend. Is there any legal safety for the home buyers against such irritating, pesky intrusion into someone's privacy? The lawyers believe that real safety will come under the data protection bill that is pending in the parliament. Thank you all for subscribing our channel and posting your comments. I appreciate. Trust me, I take time to read all the comments and I take your comments, feedback and queries with due professional seriousness. I would continue to make video on the topics and questions raised in the comments section as I aspire to make this platform dialogue driven. May I request you all to subscribe this channel and keep posting your comments. Our mail ID is given in the description and you are also free to ask questions through your short and crisp video. I will try my best to take your video queries and reply it in the subsequent video. Let's make this channel unique and dialogue driven. As of now, there are some provisions under the Information Technology Act 2000 vis-a-vis the safety of sensitive personal data. Now the sensitive personal data is all about the biometrics and other financial matters, and there are penalties for the unauthorized access. One can file a criminal case against the person who has accessed your personal data unauthorized. But the basic data like name, phone number, email ID, etc. are not covered under the sensitive data. This gap in the law that does not prohibit the access to basic data is being used as of now. But in general principle, if I am sharing my data with someone for a specific reason, there is an inherent understanding that it would not be leaked. Then I can sue him in a civil court also. But to prove the damage out of this data leak is something that is not easy. So in practice, even though there is law regarding the data protection, this clause is never spelled out explicitly with the booking form or the builder-buyer agreement. Hence, the data is leaked today across the sectors, be it insurance, banking or real estate. Confidentiality clauses are not very specifically honored. Even the proposed model builder-buyer agreement has not looked into this gray area. There must be inherent clause in the agreement itself to safeguard the buyers and invoke the clause before the court of law. It should be like a confidential KYC, know your customers. Does this data breach affect the industry at large? Or is it only a case of buyer's harassment? Requesting anonymity, the managing director of a real estate firm, he is a professional and not a builder. He admitted that this is not just unethical but costs a fortune to the developer whose potential client list is compromised. According to him, when every builder has the same set of potential buyers, then the whole purpose of client list is defeated. The potential buyer feels there is some scam in connivance with all the builders and they are being taken for a ride. There is something wrong in the very DNA of the real estate workforce, as this gentleman told me. Howsoever you may try, they continue to thrive on the data leakage. So this person who is the managing director of a real estate firm, not himself a builder, he is sharing that when he joined this sector, he was appalled by the swanky cars and lifestyle of his junior colleagues on a much lesser salary. Soon he found out the wage and means of their disproportionate income. He changed the sales team and brought polished professionals from relatively cleaner industries. It went all well for around a year. And then these guys also learned the art of making money with data leaks. What to do? And that sums up the story. In the absence of a specific data protection clause in the real estate agreements, data breach is something that is hard to prove in a legal suit. The data of the home buyers are not confidential, neither for the builders nor for the apartment management third-party apps. Will there be some strict law against data leaks and invasion of privacy in India, or we have no choice but to live with it? Please feel free to share your thoughts on this. Thanks for watching.